Welcome back to the Culture Crusade. How is everyone? I think we are live. We should be. I mean, it says we're live in the corner.
It does.
Right there. Right there.
They can't see it.
Holy crap. I am feeling wrecked. Like, absolutely hammered. I was
Listen,
talking
Mike
to-
Tyson.
Now,
Gosh.
for the audience, when Shad says hammered, he does not mean drunk. That's an American
Yeah, that's-
colloquialism.
Exactly.
That means something different in Australia, apparently.
This is true.
Texas
What
word.
do you guys
sounds
have
like-
knackered? Like a feeling knackered?
No, we don't do
No.
knackered here either.
You don't do
No,
knackered?
no.
That's an
No.
Aussie one. That's a good one.
Dude, you guys need to learn words.
It's
like-
evocative. You know, mate, I'm totally
Australians, they just make up
knackered.
their own words and put them in the English language. It's like, what?
That's what people do, Mike. Shakespeare invented fortnight. He did actually.
Yeah,
Like-
and
like
Americans
physical-
invented skibbity toilet.
Oh god. Keep in
And
mind,
the Acolyte.
twerking is in the dictionary now. We don't need to go into made up words. That was a sad day.
It's not made up until people, just adopt it. And as soon as enough people adopt it, that's just the joint meaning, and that's what they do. And that's how language works, right? It evolves. There are
Language,
words
language is meme.
is mean,
Meme.
cruel,
Meme.
meme.
M-E-M-E. Meme.
meme.
Oh, you're going with the original definition that Dawkins came up with?
Did I mention I'm really knackered?
Knackered?
So my brain isn't working. Don't try and say anything half intelligent in this stream. I'm
no,
not
I think it was
comprehend.
Dawkins. Well, it was.
But
it
that's
was
all
Richard-
Royce can muster.
Catching strays already, Royce.
Dude, I mean, I was kind of surprised, man. We made it a whole 2 minutes before I caught a stray, so I'm good with it. I'm surviving out
New
here.
record.
Oh my gosh. So why am I knackered? You may have noticed Shadiversity is struggling. Videos aren't getting recommended. And so we're trying different strategies because that's what all you can do. I mean, YouTube is
Strategery.
like I mentioned last stream, very lucky to have the platform, but it will change things that, in its algorithm recommendations that will screw over so many creators, and it doesn't give a crap because it's focusing on different things. It's focusing on
Money.
more recent content, like backlog content is just died. Okay, it's not
Wouldn't it be
recommended.
great if we just had a YouTube insider who told us what the new algorithms were targeting?
They
and
don't
we-
even know how it works, dude.
They don't.
No.
They ha-
Is it like NASA? Everything's compartmentalized. And
I
nobody's
think it
working
is, dude.
together
I
to figure
legitimately think it is.
I agree, guys. Like the YouTube insider people on their channels and stuff, they say how the algorithm works, and it is not accurate to what you observe how it's working.
Mm-mm.
And there are people behind the scenes that I think manipulate recommendations that are higher up in the food chain that don't actually mention. They took down Joe Rogan's interview with friggin' Trump, right? And so they
hit
playing
it.
shenanigans.
Or they shadow.
No, there was an accident or something. That was the official narrative.
I mean,
Yeah, everybody was like, "Oh, this is."
it was an accident. We
Yeah,
swear,
who caused
guys.
the accident?
40
That guy with the nose ring and the blue hair.
Neon from Clownfish TV actually had brought up a couple
I
of
love
days
that
ago something that is very likely. And so he says, so I think there's an activist gremlins working at Google to not only deboost certain YouTube channels. Yeah, I'm friggin' seeing that, right? By the way, we're getting into heaps of topics. I just need to vent why I'm so exhausted and
You're good.
everything. I
You're good.
apologize if people don't, but it's actually important for free speech, the open internet, content creators trying to, make a living and all that stuff. And
Brad,
I think we're all affected. by
Breathe
this.
in through your nose. It oxygenates your blood.
No, I'll pass out. Screw
In
you.
through the nose, out through the mouth.
So no, I think Neon has a very strong point here because this is he's mentioning multiple creators have seen this. He's seeing stuff like this where there's like these activist employees working in YouTube that actually kind of go outside of their perhaps what they're told to do and deboost certain YouTube channels and website, but also help boost defamatory content about them.
Well, so I mean, if that's the case, then when like the top brass at Google come out and they're like, no, we're not doing that, and then if they do have activists that are doing it, but the top brass don't know, they're like, no, that's not a company policy. But like, they could be being honest about it and just not realizing that they have essential like channel saboteurs working in their company.
I would almost put money on it, Royce. But also, I think some of those higher up people who want plausible deniability, a lot of them know it's happening, and they're like, we didn't tell them to do it, but they know it's happening, and they're happy it's happening.
That's the direction.
Because that's what they want to happen. They politically align with what's going on, and so as Neon says, censorship with plausible deniability. They're not shadow banning per se; they're just burying you and letting the activists do what they want to do without being told explicitly. And in this video, Neon actually, it's a bit too long to go through fully, but he shares some examples where he does a search for Clownfish TV, and most of the stuff in the higher searches on both YouTube and Google are his detractors and people criticizing him, and not his main content being the main thing.
Interesting.
And Gary from Nerdrotic gets that all the time. Shadiversity, like the things that get promoted for Shadiversity are people trying to attack me as more regular.
We're going in
to try and combat
for this one.
Well, to try and combat that, I'm trying to flood YouTube with Shadiversity content, and so the most recently released content is all Shadiversity, and that seems to have helped some searches. But when you search Shadiversity, usually it's just people trying to attack me outside of it, or especially on the shorts feed and stuff. What are you finding there, Bruce?
So I search even going incognito though, it's still gonna pull off of what I watch is the problem. But when I typed in Clownfish, I did get their channel. Let's type in.
The channel will appear. We're talking about the videos he recommends on.
Yeah.
Google
No, it's you're talking about but yes, but I am getting their channel and their stuff. And their recent videos and stuff. Let's do Shadiversity real quick.
Because I'm flooding YouTube with content, you should hopefully get mostly my content.
And I am getting your stuff, but again, I watch.
Just scroll down a bit and you'll find.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so there's Night's Watch. It's just recommending that right now. But again,
see, that is like I don't know why YouTube always shows Night's Watch content when people search Shadiversity. But anyway,
yeah, that's the problem. I'd have to get.
Is it not in any of your keywords?
No. I actually don't.
Well, no. I think Shadiversity might be.
No, I mean Shadiversity in your Night Watch keywords.
Oh.
Don't know, but there's probably a strong joint or shared audience, and that's where there's bridging a connection there. Yeah, so. Because Shadiversity has, and I released a video showing this, right, where the loss in views on Shadiversity is only due to lower recommendations, not click-through rate, not people, moving away or not interested. So I've been burning the candle at both ends. Just all right, if it's prioritizing new content, trying to do daily content on Shadiversity, and I'm wrecked. Last week, filmed 8 videos in one day. And they're good videos, by the way. Some of, I said we might need to roll back quality to produce more content, but a lot of the videos are just as high in quality and effort. And so, yesterday 4 videos, going to try and film it. But anyway, so I'm wrecked if my brain isn't, functioning well, guys. And look,
I mean, it doesn't function well normally, so
this is true. So, yeah.
Hey, you be nice, Royce. Jeez.
I had to get a shot in where I can.
No, this is very true.
Terrible.
We're all retards here. But that's, we appreciate people joining us.
Yeah,
and
we get a pass on that word, guys. Okay.
We absolutely do.
I do.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, God.
Hey, did you see what I sent you on Discord? The Twitter thing with the AI cards I'm making?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, yeah, I saw that.
So,
you're making that for your family? That's cool.
these are the original cards. Not the original. Actually, the original, everything was hand drawn. I've been working, or I made this game like in 2002, 2003, something like that. And then, with AI, I'm like, you know what? I can make a really professional looking card game to play with my kids. Just all I have to do is take this big stack of cards that I've.
I mean, it's great. And on that note, we got some. We actually have a super chat that asks, "What is the best AI image generator that is free to use?" This is from Lego My Rego, Black Effect 84 for 5 Canadian. So, I mean, Flux is when you say free to use, it depends. Like, do you want to go to a website and use it, or do you want to have it locally installed on your computer so you don't need the internet and you can generate infinite amount? And so if it's locally installed, Flux is pretty good. I use Stable Diffusion Forge. Comfy UI is a highest ceiling. But if you just want to go on a website and use one, unironically, Grok is actually pretty good. At the moment.
Yeah,
we're gonna share some Grok images.
I wanted to do the draw me based on my tweets thing, but I'm not paying for Twitter, so it won't let me do it.
Mine was.
Hey, I might be able to do you. I might be able to do you.
Can you?
Mine's pretty accurate. Mine gave me like Latino Superman. It was pretty awesome.
Dude,
I'm gonna show. I actually want to showcase some of them because I think they're.
funny,
you can, dude. You should be like draw a drink with Crazy based on his tweets because we'll
try it out. That's fun.
Maybe
we'll save that towards the end.
That'd be hilarious. By the way,
laugh.
Shad, one weird thing that I wanted to tell you to see, because I don't know, because you're just a big channel, so this would be really valuable information for me. What's so weird is like, so I'll upload a video, and then like my impressions will stay stupid low for like 3 days. Like I uploaded
72 hours on the nose, huh?
Well, it's almost. It used to be like 48. Does yours do the same thing?
I had all of a sudden videos where it was 72 hours, and then they started showing it to other people, and it just went.
Yeah, and see, so it's like it has to work its way through your subscribers first, and then after that, it puts you into like general SEO or something. But
well, what it does is it targets different sets of keywords. And different sets of target audiences, and it's like it'll try a new one at different points in time. So yeah, for some reason that 72-hour mark on several of my videos was just where they went.
For me, it's like 36 hours. For me, it's 36 hours, and then it just.
If someone's subscribed to you, they are way less likely to actually watch your stuff now. I don't know why that is.
It's so weird.
YouTube is not actually recommending. So one of the big changes to the algorithm, it seems, this year is that it takes subscriptions into account far less. Instead, it tries to find, all right, you like these random assortment of things. We're going to just pluck anything from YouTube and recommend it to you based on what we think you'll watch. Mm-hmm. And it does not take these things you subscribe to into higher regard. Yeah. And so it's more likely to recommend random content than the stuff you subscribe to these days, which sucks for, channels.
I think 95%. Yeah, right here. So 95% of my watch time in the last 28 days were 85% were not subscribed. So it's nuts. So only 15% of people watching my content are actually subscribed to the channel, which is...
Well, that also means you're getting recommended to a wider array of people.
That's good.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, when you have a large audience, YouTube isn't showing my content to my audience, and it's really been damaging the channel. Right. So the focus at the moment for Shadiversity is, like I said, daily content, and we might be only able to maintain it for a couple of months, and then maybe move back to 4 videos a week, which is still more than what we were doing previously. Because the logic is pretty simple, right? Mm-hmm. The more videos you put out in, say, a week, gives more videos that you might get recommended. And if someone watches one of your videos, instead of having only one other video in that week that YouTube might chance to recommend it because it's prioritizing recent content, you have 7 other videos that, it can recommend, and higher chances that there's a subject in amongst those videos that that person might be interested in. One, they have a chance of now 1 in 7 instead of 1 in 1 of a topic that might attract them. And so basic logic, I'll see how long I can go with it, but, we'll see where we go. Let's grab some of these early super chats and then jump into some of the main topics of the stream. We have Anime Fan 3794 $20 says, Shad, there's a VTuber here on YouTube named Armchair Expert. Yes, with a 1 instead of an I, who's an Aussie like you are.
Right.
This past weekend, he spent 6.5 hours on stream teaching about your nation's agenda against free speech.
Nice. Very based.
Very based. And Armchair Expert, I might have to look him up because, yeah, like the crap that's going on in Australia, this social media ban for under 16-year-olds, it's already gone through. Both political parties supported it, which means people who, the actual electorate that don't want it, don't have a major political party to, you know, support to try and fight against it. It's actually vile what's going on with that. Maybe we'll get in and talk a bit more about that a bit later on. But yeah, speak up about it because it has implications for other countries. People think that, oh, this stuff isn't a testing ground for other countries. Or remember, the Australian government is trying to force the social media companies for them to police this, right? Mm-hmm. There's like the Australian government isn't trying to develop age verification software that you have to. No, they're trying to force YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, right, to develop their own systems for age verification. And if they don't, the Australian government will fine them like insane amounts of money, something like 50 million or whatever, like crazy amounts of money. Because if these social media companies invest money to develop age verification software like this, do you think that they're not going to implement it in other countries now that they have that software around, right? And so it's actually structured to cause the social media companies to rewrite how their social media platforms work. And then with I feel the intention, the unspoken intention, is to get those practices implemented into other countries once they're already developed. Because, well, hey, if Twitter has it now, right, which is concerning. And that's why I think, like, it's speculation. I think politicians are getting backroom handshake deals by certain organizations, maybe World Economic Forum organizations, to push this through, even though the Australian electorate seems to be wholly against it. They didn't bring it to a vote. And pushing it through then to make it stuff like this affect other countries. And because that's like a politician, you'd think they would want to do things that are, you know, the electorate wants, that they're asking for. But instead of bringing this to a referendum or anything like that, it's massively unpopular. Both political parties are like, no, we're doing it. Screw you anyway. If you don't like it, tough. Can't do anything about it. Who are you going to vote for? Now, of course, you could vote for the independents, like I think it's the Libertarian Party or One Nation here in Australia. But the thing is, though, they need so much more exposure and support for them to become a major political party to actually, you know, be competitive against the two big ones here in Australia. And most Australians are completely oblivious to a lot of this stuff. They just watch mainstream media and they get completely indoctrinated, basically. So there's a long way to go. It's a bit concerning what's happening in Australia. But sorry, Anime Fan, you triggered me. Like, this has been on my mind a lot. It's been concerning me. I've been following what's been going on, and it's going to have far-reaching effects. Do you think, like, do you think some of these companies will implement some of this age verification stuff, invest the money to develop it to avoid the $50 million something dollar fines, or just withdraw the platform from Australia? What do you guys think?
Well, the government likes to fine people, so I assume the fines.
How many people are in Australia?
It's not a lot. That's the thing, but
that's why it might be easier to just withdraw.
Yeah, I actually hope that's the case, because that's the thing that'll wake Australians up and go, hold on, why can't we use Facebook now? Why can't we get access to YouTube? Right?
27 million. That's half my state.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like what Texas did to Pornhub. You can't access Pornhub anymore from Texas.
Mm-hmm. And so I hope they withdraw. That'll get the backlash against the government. They
Chad,
deserve that
are
backlash.
any of the women in your country sterilizing themselves because Donald Trump is president here?
I hope so.
I don't know.
It's one of the
I
great
know-
blessings of the Trump administration.
Also, the shaving their hair and then wearing masks and stuff. Like, now
and
we
marking
know
themselves
who
with the blue bracelets.
Yeah, now we know who to stay away from. That's pretty good,
Exactly.
pretty convenient. Although it's gonna be kind of tough once Trump becomes president because he's going to issue the handmaiden's uniform to every woman in the world. But for
The
now,
thing is,
we can
though,
see them.
I actually see some utility with age verification. There are, of course, some websites and things that kids
Sure.
should not have access to. The thing is, though,
Like Twitter.
the hub is not included in the age ban, social media ban, because it's not considered a
Wait a
social
minute.
media-
That's like
Yeah.
that should be the first thing that should be on
Exactly,
there.
it should be right.
There's like an agenda or something going on.
It's like there's some bullcrap.
There's
stuff
no
happening with
agenda.
that.
That's conspiracy theory until for like 6 months.
And so we'll see what happens. But all right, Buddy Rabbit for $2 says, and some of us are more retarded than others. This is very true.
All animals are equal, but some animals are equal than others. Some more equal than others.
How you going there, Royce?
Huh?
How you going there?
Oh, speaking of more retarded than others, how you doing?
I'm not saying hi to you without any relationship to that super chat at all. Never.
Pick on
Aren't you,
relate.
though?
Pick
Oh,
on relate.
no, never do that.
No.
Oh, by the way, Shad, I was looking through your videos. I did see one I did like that has a lot of views. The worst internet sword fails #3. I do watch those. Those are the ones on your channel I do watch. That one.
They're
and
fun.
okay, so the sword fails is particularly funny for me because I did kickboxing. I have a black belt in it. So I do like to cover martial arts and watching martial arts and discovering watching martial arts and looking into them helps you describe fighting in books better. It lets you find out what to do. Instead like, oh, he swung his sword, like he hefted this blade backwards, it gleamed in the sun. You can describe it better and know what the terminology is. So I have been looking into a lot. It's been a hobby of mine to look into the fake martial arts, like the no touch masters and everything. And on this one, on the thumbnail, you have that one guy who is like one of those fake guys. Like, oh yeah, let me carry around my log with me.
The log one. That's hilarious. But LitDev, if you find some like McDojo stuff, right, that I haven't reacted to, send me the link. I want to collect a pool, especially sword ones, right? Of because it's actually like, because the violent content, YouTube kind of buries the sword accident videos, and they're a bit harder to find now.
They're hilarious. I love the stupid sword stuff, the fails, the fake martial arts. The other one I would watch on here because I just discovered it was you're covering the monk class and from D&D, which I also enjoy. So yeah, I think that making more variety like that. Covering
that's
D&D
the plan.
stuff. Because your channel kind of leans into D&D a little bit here and there because they're both like kind of like they have a medieval aesthetic and stuff. Also, I haven't watched it yet because I just now saw it, and I will watch it after the stream probably. But wouldn't, technically speaking, a battle medieval monk be like a Knights Templar or something? Not necessarily Asian fighting monk.
That's the point of the video. Go watch it. I
always wanted to make that argument, right? It's like, oh, it's medieval everything else except the like Asian battle monk. Like, wait, this is a little off, But
it's funny, right? What was great what I had fun with that video is that if I made that video 5 years ago, right, it would have been really hard to find references of a monastic monk doing martial art poses. But I was able to use AI to make some great image references to emphasize what I was talking about in it. And there was one image that has like thrown people off because it's a bit exaggerated. And it's so exaggerated, I want to make a dedicated video about this image and where it comes from, because it's it's odd, but also fun and a bit goofy. And I'll quickly show you guys. I just need to bring it up. It's I need to find the medieval monk folder. Quick, Royce, talk about something while I look this up.
Well, I have something else to admit,
hi.
Shad. By the way, that I don't typically watch the stuff where you're comparing weapons. I just I do watch because I watched your channel before I talked to you and everything. I did watch your channel and everything before I knew who you were. And one of my favorite parts of your channel where we discovered when you talked about like medieval history and D&D stuff and
the history videos, dude, they just ended up really underperforming. The audience wasn't showing up for those. Like half the views of a regular video, and so I just had to do less medieval misconceptions as a result. The thing is, though, one of the things that I'm enjoying about the daily content is that it actually gives me opportunity to visit topics that I couldn't afford to do before, where now I can just absorb the loss. It's like, and put it out there.
I think it looks a little easier, right? It looks a little easier for you because you're kind of, instead of like going through this arduous physical exertion from the other videos, you're kind of sitting there discussing things.
Well, now I'm doing both. I'm still doing the arduous. Like yesterday, we did 4 outside videos in one hit, and so. But hey, the medieval monk one. This is the image here. It's kind of look. It threw people off a little bit.
What the fuck?
It's like,
dude, what kind of gym programs did they have back in them days?
He's like one of those Russian guys that fills their arms up with like saline or something to get those balloon muscles.
Almost.
Oh my god!
This is actually based off a drawing concept I did a while back.
I didn't know they had protein shakes back then. God bless America. Or France or England or wherever the hell that guy's from.
Yeah, so the medieval hardcore like Iron Church gyms were the best.
Right, the Iron Church gyms.
Pay the iron price. The Iron Church.
Right. God, can you imagine that dude coming at you with a freaking sword? Oh.
Well, the point behind him is that he actually doesn't use a sword. I was trying to think of,
he just beats people to death.
It's like a medieval martial artist brawler character, right? How would they be able to take on, people with swords and stuff? And it's like, well, he would, if he had gauntlets on his hands, he could easily block and deflect a lot of the incoming strikes. But that also means they're like those are more than brass friggin' knuckles as like metal on your fist. And so, funnily enough, though, this is actually based off a concept image that I drew years ago, right? And then I used AI to enhance it. And
this version of him looks a little like he's the Netflix version of him.
Yeah, right. I know, right? But this is one of the things I just love about AI is like taking my own drawings and concepts and then enhancing it. Though the AI, I think it pushed it a bit further than it's just like, I don't know, maybe it hits differently when it has more fidelity to it.
He has like those like bodybuilder lats where it's like sometimes where there's like different like another guy's shoulders. He's like a small person instead of a big body.
I could just see like a battle where they have to scale they put the ladders on the wall and they have to scale it, and the commander's just like, send in the monks. And it's just like 1,000 roided out motherfucker just ready to scale a wall.
He's punching the wall instead of climbing ladders.
dude, they're just digging in. The monks are coming, and they're like, oh god. Well, funny enough, isn't that kind of what like the Viking berserkers would do? Wouldn't those guys just get like high on shrooms and just go like?
That's
is very cocaine. It's some medieval cocaine.
Not accurate, not historically accurate. There's a lot of confusion about what the Viking berserkers were. I would suggest people watch Indy video.
In the Philippines, they had guys called Hucks. I think it was in World War II or late Korean. I can't remember. But my friend's grandfather was a Huck, and these were guys, they would chew this Huck root. I don't even know what Huck root is, but it was Huck root, and it was basically, it made them sort of impervious to pain and probably a little psychotic.
So a legal version of, a natural version of PCP. Got it.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that has happened throughout history. People are like, oh, if I just take this plant, I just don't feel things for a few hours, and,
Right,
and
right.
we're gonna
You
go
don't
fight.
notice your limbs gone until
Yeah.
you're out of blood.
How do we weaponize this? How do we make this into a really effective weapon element?
Yeah, you just give it to them and then you throw them at the enemy. And
Well,
they
they
don't-
did that. So funny enough, there's a video. They did that back in World War. What was it? World War I with a little drug called Pervitin. It was meth, and it wasn't like you're get it behind your 7-Eleven. This was military grade, funded by the military. And the Fat Electrician has a really good video on. It was a Norwegian soldier or something like that. It's freaking hilarious. Like this guy's story, and
Is that the guy that like killed bears and like lost a leg and stuff like that?
no, it's not that guy. It's like, dude, after 2 weeks, you got to watch the video. Bottom line, he took way too much, and after 2 weeks of being lost out in the wilderness in freezing cold temperatures in his country in the World War I, he had a resting heart rate of like 210, and he'd lost like 90, and he lost like something. He was down to 96 pounds after 2 weeks. Dude was high off his gourd for 2 weeks and survived somehow. And just it is a wild story. But yes, no, we have.
There we go.
Yeah, it's so funny. So funny. What?
Buddy Rabbit for $20 says, is there any data on people not using the home tab and merely using the subs tab, like the following tab on X, rather than using For You? I don't need to wait for a recommendation. I just scroll my subs tab. Yeah, a lot of people saying that's the answer, right? If you're not getting recommendation from people you follow, just use the sub tabs. Here's the thing, though. People want to discover new content, and a lot of people are like, there's a lot of content where you see a video, you want to watch it, but you don't want to subscribe. It's just a one-off. That was fun. That's all I need. And because people want to discover new content on top of what they already have, they're always going to be using the home tab more than the subscriber tab. And then you just refresh and you get an instant new list of videos you might be interested in.
I mean, I'm just obvious, I don't know, just what I do, but I will go through my subs tab for the day first. Like that's where I go first. And then it's kind of like after I've burned up or exhausted or like that for the topics that I'm interested in that day. At that point, I would go to the home tab, see if it recommends anything to me that looks kind of interesting, or maybe I would have missed, you know? But that's really what I do. But yeah, I still use the home tab a lot, but you know, I mean,
I can see why people mostly use the home tab, and the home tab should function that, you know, it takes into account the stuff you subscribe to and always showing you more often, you know, the content you said you want to watch. At the moment, YouTube is actually trying to force more, I don't know, cross views across the platform, and they like don't take into account, like, because if you watch a video on Shadiversity or on Night's Watch or on Drink with Crazy, Lit Dev, Blacklisted Universe, right? It used to be that one of the highest recommendations that happened would be another video from that channel. That was really good. That was really good for growth. Now it's not that at all. And now it tries to think of, all right, you like this type of content? Yeah, it can be topical based. But the thing is, though, a lot of my topics on the same channel are the same. And so it does something else. But the thing is, it's when you watch a video on someone's channel, it is a much lower, percentage rate that the next main recommendation will be from that channel. It'll be anything across YouTube.
Yeah.
And it could be right? Oh, you watched this other video more than this one, or you clicked on this other video quicker, right? So we're going to recommend you a video based on what you watched previously that's not related to this video or the content creator or that channel at all.
I have heard from, and there was one channel that I watched, and they do this very, very well. It's called Magnates Media. I freaking love that channel. They do awesome documentaries. They've released like one every month. But what he does is at the end of his videos, every single time. He's like, and if you thought this story was crazy, you should check out this story. It's up on your screen right now. And he like activates the audience that way. And that's something that I've heard from other YouTubers as well. Like if you can activate somebody to click when you do like your end screens tab. And
I've been doing it all year.
No, I know. I'm saying it's
not
easier
sure
said than done. It's easier said than done, but
although we did have a higher conversion on the recommended video at the end of the monk video, and we did something slightly different. Usually we have the recommended video appear as we're signing off and say click on it, and then the video ends. With the monk one, we had a recommendation period, and then instead of ending it at the video end, I had the outro play a little bit longer. Just a little bit, which just had that video recommendation kind of sitting there after I recommended, which gave people more time to click on it. And we did actually see a boost in that video, a little bit of a transfer.
See, and I used to do that, and I haven't been doing it lately.
Another video of yours I really liked was the Mall Ninja videos. Not only did I watch those, I watched those like 5 times each.
Oh my god,
those were hilarious.
Mall Ninja, I forgot about those.
Mall Ninja.
We'll be doing more. That's one of the good things that I have been finding about the daily content is that because we're making more content, we have more opportunity to do everything else. Where when we're doing 2 videos a week, high production, we have to focus on, all right, what are the videos that get the most views, what the audience is most interested in? That's what we needed to prioritize. Now we're kind of still trying to do that and adding everything else. I'll see if I can keep it up.
I think I know you talked about like the strenuous activity for the physical videos where you're like using swords and everything. I think this will balance it out a little bit because in these videos you tend to seem like be sitting down and discussing things, and it just requires maybe more editing. So maybe like it might give you a break while still producing content, so you're not pushing yourself as hard.
I mean, well, this is the thing. I am pushing myself as hard because I'm trying to make those other videos as well.
Other videos. But now you have
with everything
extra. A little bit something
now it's all extra. I probably won't maintain the daily forever, like probably a couple of months, and then go to 4 videos a week, which is still a lot, but more manageable than we're effectively trying to film 8 videos a week at the moment, which is holy. I am wrecked, guys. Madison for $2 says, "Do what you need to do, Shad. We love you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'll survive."
We should take some of that stuff.
Like, first world problems. Like I'm not going into the coal mines or anything like that. And so even though I'm wrecked, I'm very aware that my life is still a lot easier than a lot of other people have to work.
You could always become an emu hunter.
Don't tempt me.
I heard they're in high demand over there.
Yeah.
I want to eat an emu so bad.
It's actually not bad. It's a bit tasty.
Like an Australian action movie where like this veteran comes out of retirement to fight the emus. Like you're the one who knows how he thinks, how he moves.
You know how big those emu eggs are, man. I knew it was on your mind. So anime fan for $37.94 $5 says, "I knew it was on your mind" is referring to the under 16 social media ban. That's the main reason. I figured you'd like to know that there's an Aussie content creator calling out, which is good. And there's actually a good number of them that have called it out. Isaac Battlefield, do you guys know him? He's an Aussie, and he usually will mention cultural, political stuff. Well, that's his main content, and so he calls it out. And they're not all Aussies are these just. We're not like the Aussie breakdancer, okay, or the Aussie Office show adaptation. That's,
I feel like you
that's
guys
not a proper representation of us.
I think I feel like you guys have the same problem as the U.S., where like most of the country are like libertarian, red state, and where we're plagued and tyrannized by a few blue cities.
And they're the ones that everyone sees and gets noticed and ends up representing. Australia.
What's really funny is the other night on my 12,000 subscriber celebration stream, there was a French guy in there, and he came on there and he was in the chat, and he's like, "I'm so pleased to hear that there are like based conservative Americans. I thought you guys were all left,
like crazy liberal." Like,
and I'm like, that's what we think about France. It's the media is only sharing the crazy left-wing stuff across the planet, convincing all of us that everyone is
the lefty side is normal.
Why they want to make sure that they keep social media away from children.
Yeah, they kind of been like showing like every country, the left side is normal and the right side is crazy. and
Yep.
and
So, I
extreme.
I mean, the government has been able to manipulate and control mainstream media for years through regulations and also
not anymore.
other means as well. And they have had an issue with the internet, Wild West for years because they can't control it, and they hate that they can't control it. But the issue is not all Australians are not even enough online, but also online enough to find, more open discussions. Because there's a lot of like old people that are just on Facebook with all the people they follow, and they don't get exposed to any, open information. That's still a tiny minority. There are so many Aussies that just watch mainstream media and news.
Well, speaking of this style of manipulation, I recently saw a video that went into they went a deep dive into the origins of modern art. And it turns out that it was a CIA op. It was like the
I think
ESG
that's the
stuff.
Fat Files. I think
Yeah,
that's the
Fat Files. It's from the Fat
that's
Files.
the Fat Electrician,
Okay,
dude. He's
so-
one of my dude. Yes.
Same
There we
exact thing
go.
the same exact thing happening with the ESG stuff today. It happened with modern art. They wanted to compete with the Soviet Union and everything. So what the idea is that CIA came in and they said, okay, we'll fund this modern art stuff. They even made their own galleries.
They started funding jazz musicians first.
and jazz musicians too.
and
yeah.
they funded it through some union. Or
They made this thing called the Congress of Cultural Freedom.
yes.
They can't make it directly, so they made it called the Congress of Cultural Freedom, and that's where they funneled everything through, and they made their own art foundations and stuff like that, to a network of art foundations to just fund all this stuff, so that this meaningless swill can be pumped up by their own critics and everything, and made genius, while the Soviet Union was over there, being wallowed down in critique and craftsmanship and crap. I'm not used to.
Well, let's not forget the money laundering.
Well, that's kind of what the thing is.
So
They said it was money. I think it became money laundering, but it didn't start out that way. It started off as a way to just defeat the Soviet Union in the art race.
It makes
In
perfect
relation-
sense, 'cause there's no
in
other
relation-
thing that would make sense.
Yeah, in relation to what the mainstream media does to try and present that, this is what everyone thinks. You'll be a good person if you adopt these views and these beliefs and stuff.
This is
It's
normal.
actually, this is normal. It's a manipulation of herd mentality in people. People naturally gravitate towards the opinions of the group. It's a protection mechanism. It's a psychological thing. And so if they can paint a false picture that this is the majority opinion, this is what is socially acceptable, you want to just go with it. And so many people just naturally go with, this is what society is saying is good, and that's what's bad, and I want to be a good person. I'm just going to go along. Let's just agree with it. And there's a reason why, coming up to the recent election, that so many advertisers and stuff like that, and people are saying is that it's going to be a landslide for the Democrats. They were trying to paint this false, positive, and they even came out with these supposed polls saying, look at how Kamala is doing so great and everything.
Trump.
They wanted to create a narrative, a false narrative about something, to restructure the way that people would naturally gravitate towards the flow of society.
It was funny because it did backfire a lot, because everyone that backfired so badly. Cenk Uygur is starting to get red pilled because they're all liars. They lied to us.
that was wild.
That was crazy. And then now Cenk Uygur is going to go debate Hassan Piker, allegedly speaking. I think this.
I thought he already did. That people
I think
have
he
been
already did, actually.
doing
I think he already
reactions to
whoa,
that.
that really backfired on these guys. They really backfired on the Democrats trying to push this whole it's going to be Kamala all the way. Wait, you guys are just all lying the entire time.
Well, it was so funny to see a lot of people look at the vote tallies from the past election and this election, and there were a lot of people going, hey, so did we actually do some shenanigans on that one?
They did cheat last time.
Where are the 11 million people or someone
that
didn't vote this election that voted for Biden last one? They're suddenly not around, They
were like,
by the way, Shad, see if this sounds familiar. So during that whole Pollock era, the whole modern art era, suddenly the kind of art the CIA wanted to show off, that was the art that started to become promoted more in museums. So that's kind of how this splatter painting crap started taking over the museums, because that's what it's like. And my buddy pointed out that's the algorithm. They wanted to, here's what we want to show you with the algorithm. Oh, this is stuff that's getting promoted. Oh, look, what 10 videos by Jimmy Fallon? No one watches that guy. Why is he getting promoted?
And I shared in my video, I shared on this, YouTube has been explicit that they rate content on a ranking system of quality, and they push what they want people to see, not what people are interested, based on click-through rates or impressions, everything. And yeah, so Shadiversity has been struggling as a result of this, because I showed direct evidence that these videos have the exact same. Actually, I have videos that have less views that have a better conversion on the recommendations, which means if they got the same recommendations as my successful videos, they would have way more views. So these are videos that would be more successful, but YouTube has arbitrarily chosen not to show them to my audience or to new people, even though every metric says that people are loving it. I'm not getting lower views because people are not interested in the content. I'm literally getting lower views because YouTube isn't letting people know my content exists. That's the difference. Because when the YouTube algorithm shows people my videos, click-through rates, conversion from impressions are all good. They are all good.
So for those who are in the chat going, what's he talking about, click-through rates and conversion? YouTube gives you, like, I think 100 or more different metrics to look at all of your content to know how it plays, what it plays. Like, it will tell you which pieces of content viewers come back with. Like, it gives you so much data and so much information. And when you start to compare video to video to video, you can kind of start to see there's weird things that go on, and it's like, and here's the thing. YouTube, one of the things because they absolutely do this, if you say something in the video and they have their little auto translate thing, read it, if it reads wrong what you say, and because if you would just hit auto generate subtitles, if YouTube picks up like it thought you said a wrong word, it will nuke your recommendations. So if you say something a little too quickly, that's something else that's there too.
So have a look at these statistics, right? This video in the middle did really well. And the conversion from the impressions was 1 view for every 15 impressions. These other 2 videos didn't even get like 20% of the views of this middle one, but their click-through rate is higher, and they got 1 view for every 13 impressions, which means if these 2 other videos if all these videos got the same amount of impressions, the 2 side ones would have gotten 192,000 views in the first week, where this Forge and Fire one got 170,000 views in the first week. But there was a different arbitrary standard why YouTube decided to push this middle video as opposed to the other side ones, which are actually more popular. And YouTube pushes what it determines to push, but it is what it is. You know, you just have to deal with it and adapt and try and survive. And so that's what we're doing. But all right, we need to get these super chats and get to the topics of the video, even though we're nearly 50 minutes.
What?
Of the
There's
live stream.
topics?
There's topics. I know, right?
Not the topics, Shad. Oh man.
As well.
Well,
This
welcome
is
to
a
the
topical
Culture
show?
Crusade.
Topics? Did somebody say topic?
Where we
What?
just ramble and we enjoy it, and it seems like you guys enjoy it too. Okay, so Madison for $2 says that Rip Monk and Luce must reclaim Jerusalem. Yes. In fact, there might be might be a character that could join in the mix with Luce, but maybe not. We'll see. I need to test the waters a bit more with that one. Ross Pendragon for $2 says, hello, Lit Dev. A pleasure seeing you here.
Hello, hello.
There's some love for Lit Dev. Buddy Rap for $20 says, I was just wondering if there was data on somewhere at all creators can utilize that can assist with organic networking. Obviously, you want people to discover you, because if they aren't subs, that tab means nothing. Yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of collaborations and actually rarely boosted subscribers and stuff like that. It's
collaborations don't back before I think YouTube content creation was as ubiquitous as it is now. Collaborations way back like 2013, 2014, 2015 used to work really well. But now, collaborations really don't convert people over. I've even had people tell me all the time, and they're like, because it was funny, is like right as you started doing this, like a lot of my videos were popping off, and people were like, "Oh, dude, you're getting a huge boost of subscribers from Shad," and I'm like, "No," and they're like, "What do you mean no?" And I'm like, "Well, I got some for sure." But I got like 10, but most of my subscribers were coming from just my videos that I was pushing
Videos.
out.
Well,
and
that's the
doing
key.
that.
You
Yeah.
need to be making good content, and if you're not making good content, people won't jump over, and people won't even stick around. So $2 from Mark Ashamed says Adam something just made the worst Warhammer 40k hot take. Well, all right then. I don't know what the hot take was, and I don't know who the Adam is. There's a lot of Adams out there, but Warhammer 40k is pretty cool. It's just the company that runs it sucks. Fire Warrior for $5 says, let's have a Vegeta complex. Like Vegeta, they can't stop talking about Goku, and their Goku is
Okay, don't talk bad about my boy. Nope, not doing it.
Goku.
Nope.
No, Vegeta. Oh, you mean Vegeta?
Dude, it's right here.
The best character is obviously not Vegeta, but Vegeta in the Rain. The best character.
I want to be a Super Saiyan.
Hey, so Senfrance for $20 says, one of two Shad streams meeting ago, you mentioned secret combinations. Yes, signs and combinations. I am good friends with Morgan Philpott. He is a U.S. constitutional lawyer that has been studying the parallels between the Nephites government and the U.S. government. There's actually there are prophecies and parallels and interesting things, and let's just say we're in the last days, people. And then Senfrance for $5 says, 2 of 2. If you're interested in talking to him, I can connect you with him. I don't have the time now. But maybe when I got the time, or maybe I'll look him up in my rare spare time. But it is one of those subjects I very much enjoy. All right. Hey, guys, do you remember the Acolyte?
Yes, unfortunately.
No.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
That's the part where I snapped when I went and I said, "You know what? It's total wartime now." Let's go.
So Acolyte stuff is back in the news because the guy who played the character Soul has he's spoken out about his experience on the Acolyte. And this is what he says. So this is covered, like a lot of people have been mentioning this. This one is Geeks and Gamers. He says, Ji Jung Jae?
Was this the guy that
Lee
played
Jung
in
Squid Game?
Squid Game.
Games? Yeah.
Squid Game.
Yeah. I heard he learned English for the role, didn't he? Like he put in a lot of work. Like he put in a lot of work because he loves.
Well, this is why this is baffling, because out of all the commentary on the Acolyte, and I'm included in this, right? One of the few places people gave it praise, it's one of the few places I gave it praise, was his performance. We said, like, okay, he's actually trying, and like this dog crap show doesn't deserve him. It's right. Multiple times I mentioned, like, he actually did a decent job there. It's just the writing sucked, and I did not see anything approaching racism or criticism about him because of his race.
Right? I would say, like, to be fair, that when these guys come over, they're kind of easily manipulated because they don't really know English, and English is a tough language to learn. And so it's like Jackie Chan would have these stories in which they would have him say stuff, and he would just say it but he doesn't know English very well. So he would just say it, everyone would laugh. He's like, why is everyone laughing? I don't know. So they would manipulate Jackie Chan to say like funny things, and he had no idea what he said, but he said it. And so it kind of feels like maybe it's one of these things where it's like he doesn't really know exactly. They told him some stuff, like with the guy that played Finn, Boyega. They just told him some stuff, and he had to take it for granted. But even then, this guy's like, well, I'm really grateful no matter what happens. But I'm just really sad about all the critique. He might be even talking about who knows? He might be talking about the executives. He might be talking about his experience on set. I don't know. That maybe they're racist over there.
This is what he says. He says, my feelings were hurt, especially for Leslie Headland. Her feelings must have hurt a lot. And yeah, but I think, she gets like... she wrote a dog crap show, and
they've done a better job. Do better.
People were not criticizing Leslie Headland for the fact that she's a woman or the fact that she's gay or anything like that. Criticizing her for putting massive propaganda woke agenda in her show. Also criticizing her for being the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, that she clearly knew, that what was going on, and people were joking about that she was the one holding the door shut when the women were trying to. She knew, and she didn't, expose, and so she's actually culpable with a lot of that dodgy stuff Harvey Weinstein was doing. So they mentioned that, and they were criticizing him because the writing on the show was horrible. Okay, but anyway, he's feeling sorry for her. I can understand him feeling sorry for someone he worked with, but then he goes, I can only have faith that racism will end someday, even though it's going to be hard. And that's reference that criticism was racist, and he hopes that the racism would end. That's the context.
Okay, so that's a cop out to me a little bit, where it's like, yeah, I'm supposed to say some crap like this, right? I'm supposed to say something.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels. It really feel like heartfelt. It felt like he was guiding on. And I've seen interviews like this where the interviewer. That's how we got the. Oh yeah, it's the gayest Star Wars ever. Because the interviewer's like, would you say this is the gayest Star Wars ever? And yeah, sure.
I do wonder, I'm not going to pay for Vanity Fair or even looking. Gosh,
No.
right? But I wonder if the question was, how did you I feel about all the racist, criticism that happened to the actors and on the show, and then he's just answering that because he probably doesn't watch if English isn't his first language, he probably wasn't listening to the English, reviews, commentary, and stuff. And so he could just be getting fed this stuff by the interviewer or Disney. That's a good point.
Heck, if he has an agent, I bet his agent probably would said say something about racism.
well, I mean, I actually think some of these idiot celebrities that do the, car videos about, Moses Ingram got all these racist comments. This was from the guy who played Obi-Wan, right? And if you are racist, you're no Star Wars fan of mine. It's like, where are the racist comments? The criticism against Moses Ingram wasn't her because of her race, it's because she was really bad at acting, and her character, Reva, from the Obi-Wan series, was friggin' awful. She was absolutely a disaster of a character, right? But Disney has been playing this playbook for ages, where any criticism against them, they deflect it by saying, oh no, this is just people being racist or misogynistic or bigoted or stuff like that, right? Because they can't handle the fact that they're making crap, and they can't, learn from their mistakes, and so they just say, oh, you were all just racists. And I wouldn't put it past it if what's the guy's name who played Obi-Wan?
Ewan McGregor.
I wouldn't put it past him if Disney said, oh yeah, she's been getting all these racist comments, and he didn't question. It's like, that's horrible, I must make a video.
It's kind of like that's
I hated it so much when you ended that last time.
They're all sometimes it's like on the spot, spur of the moment. Like, what do you think about the Leslie Headland's sexist comments she's getting? And they don't give him examples like, oh, that's terrible. I hope that sexism is bad and you shouldn't be sexist. They would have to give an answer based on almost nothing.
And some of the only examples, the Moses Ingram, controversy thing that they were able to produce about the horrible racist comments, well, I think one or two people calling her a diversity hire. I think that was the only thing. No one actually saying you bad because
is that racist if it's true?
Well, that's the question, isn't it, Mike? Right? Where they say they go out of their way to make characters more diverse, right? And that then people are hired to.
Yeah, the hiring is what's racist.
That exactly, right? If they're hiring based on
anything other than merit,
characteristics and not merit and qualifications or their quality of their audition, that is a diversity hire, isn't it? And people pointing it out is not an attack on her for a race. They're pointing out a racist hiring practice in Disney.
Yeah, DEI stands for didn't earn it.
I haven't heard that one. That's a good one. Did you come up with that, Linton? Or did you?
I feel like I took it from somewhere, but I don't remember.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. Shh.
We'll just attribute it to you.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
So that's one of the things, and they rarely are able to provide receipts, right? And when they do, because on the rare occasion they do, some of the receipts are a parody of what they. It's almost like everything that they actually want to receive, so they can play the victim. And I'm referencing the one that was from the CEO of Sweet Baby Inc. I forget her name. She shared.
Please don't watch that video again, please. Don't do it.
No, we didn't get to finish it though. Right. We didn't get to finish it.
Watch it
There was
now.
So much we could cover.
Because the election happened the next week, and I was so happy.
Let's watch it now on 0.5 speed.
Oh, why do you all hate me?
No, the thing is though, right?
0.25.
I think I did a video on this, right? About the some of the an email or a message that she shared, and it was like, holy crap, this thing reads like a parody. It's like, because, and they jump on it so much, and I don't know if it's true or not. It felt like it was written by someone themselves to justify their activism and everything. But even if it was genuine, it's like, what, a drop in the bucket? It's nothing. It's the smallest minority in the smallest minority of the criticism versus the legitimate criticism. And by the way, like, I'm not sure if you guys, you've probably most likely received horrible messages, messages that tell you to go kill yourself and everything like that, right? And that's, guess what? It's like, you just ignore it.
It's not.
I laugh at it.
Exactly.
If I got like enough stuff, I would enough of one category of negative comments, so like rank them from 1 to 10 or 1 to 5 stars. Be pretty funny.
You know what this reminds me of? That classic interview Jordan Peterson did with Kathy Newman on Channel 4 in Britain. You remember that?
What you're saying is.
So what you're saying.
So what you're saying is.
And it was one of the greatest moments of comebacks where, she literally said to him, what right do you have to, or something about like, you don't have a right to offend trans people, that like,
why do you get to offend me? Why do you get to hurt my
And then his response was, in order to think, you have to be offensive. You're perfectly willing to be, offensive to me. What gives you that right? And holy crap, so it was just like, she
got me.
Crusher.
Crushed her, right?
I mean,
in order to think or say anything of value, you have to risk being offensive. It's just how it goes.
I mean, what people need to understand, when you're going to take on somebody like Jordan Peterson, the guy is a professional thinker. That's literally his job, is to think in the abstract. And it doesn't mean everything that he says is correct, but it's going to be really, really hard to get one up on a guy whose job is to think. Like, you would have to have an IQ level pretty freaking high to get one over on a guy.
Oh my gosh. It exposed Kathy Newman as one of the most and just media in general, because so many do it. Like, she was willing to twist anything around into the most uncharitable way to try and present in the worst way possible the dishonesty. And that's where the meme comes. So what you're saying is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she would just purposely try to make him out to look like the most bigoted person ever. And that's an evil person who does that, who's just like, I'm not trying to understand you. I'm trying to make people hate you.
Yeah.
Right? That's evil. So the way that it relates to the topic we're talking about was the response. Okay. Because afterwards, what did Kathy Newman do? She played the victim. They were saying she was getting all these horrible, aggressive, mean comments, threats of violence and stuff. And so you know what people did? They actually went through on Twitter and collected every single response to Kathy Newman and comment about Kathy Newman as a result from that interview, and every single one comment about Jordan Peterson and response to Jordan Peterson, response to that interview. And he received more hatred, more threats of violence than Kathy Newman, to an order of magnitude of 5 to 1 or more, or 10 to 1. It was crazy the amount of crap he copped, right? He copped versus her, and they actually tried to paint her the victim when he was copying the hate and abuse vastly more than her, right? Because that's their tactic. Instead of actually owning their own mistakes or anything like that, they friggin' play the victim, and they look for, justification, even when it's not there, or not even as much as their, opponents on the other side, right? Because they want to play the victim, because that gives them, victimhood currency. There is actually currency in being a victim, sympathy points, and all that gives them attention and helps them deflect from their crappy actions and behavior. And so this is just same crap, different smell. It's the same playbook. Once again, I don't know if he is actually if he's being fed it or not. But in this example in particular, as we mentioned, he barely got any criticism. He was one of, like, out of anything, he was the most complimented part of the Acolyte, flat, for his performance and that he tried. And so it's a bit bonkers that, you know, he comes out and says that. And he goes on, he says, fandom comes along with my career. This is the nature of it. So I can't take it for granted no matter what. I'm always thankful. At least he ends off with being thankful. Okay. But he is kind of saying that, look, fandom is just sexist or racist. Sorry. That's just fandom, which is not the case. That's people who are trying to conflate it to be something that it's not either. Or take examples of the few times when there are nasty comments like that and then inflate it to represent way more of a large
maybe what they showed him. I feel like he's being taken advantage of because he really doesn't really know English that well. He's not an expert in anything, and it kind of feels way too robotic and rehearsed. Like, oh yeah, this is the typical stuff you're supposed to say. Like, oh yeah, I hate racism and Leslie Headland's cool. Yeah, I'm out, guys.
But now they're like, you're right. But the fact they're trying to gaslight that, oh, he copped all this racism when no, he was it feels very similar to what people are trying to say about Finn.
That's right, yeah.
So they are trying to repaint history that there was this horrible backlash against Finn in The Force Awakens. And I don't know who this person is, but you know.
Right, dude.
So like, everyone was racist. Yeah, everyone hated him being the
Everybody wanted Finn to be be
Exactly.
It was the exact opposite. It's like, why is the jet?
Why sideline him in the sequel? He was set up to be the lead. He picked up the lightsaber at the end.
And everyone was racist. If anyone was racist, it was Disney. It was Disney giving us this really cool, interesting character, like a cool, like, oh, stormtrooper, her broke away from the army and like started off on his own. This is a main character, and then it was already down to be like just a comic relief guy who just screamed Ray for like 90%.
I know, and
wasn't Boyega pissed off at how he got treated? Didn't he?
He should be. He should have been.
I thought he came out and said something about that, like he was not a fan of how.
I think he also said something like that he didn't know, like he didn't realize that he was being lied to, but when people were telling him like, oh, the fans are being racist against you, I think he was being told that, but he didn't actually look at it. So it's like I could have sworn it was Boyega that came out and said, oh, I was wrong and I was lied to. They lied to me about all the backlash. It actually wasn't racist.
And it's just amazing that they're trying to rewrite history, and so whoever that person is says it's also worth mentioning that the next biggest point of contention fans had with the trailer was text notes having a black man in it. Bull crap! I didn't see a single person complain about that at all. And Mike, I don't know who is on Twitter, but he's right. He says, don't let them gaslight you. No one had a problem with Finn. He should have been the main character. 100%.
It was set up from the beginning. It's kind of felt like almost like Ray was made the main character at the last second, going by the trailers and everything. Because Finn was definitely main character potential. He was like stormtrooper. He took off his helmet. He left the army. That is main character potential. He was already defying the larger authority, already rebelling against the system. It's a perfect setup for to begin a hero's journey.
And he's such a better character than Ray. Right? He actually has like limitations and weaknesses. He doesn't understand certain cues and stuff like that. And he has to learn, and he has an arc to actually bed himself and overcome.
Oh, and Dad, how cool of an ethical, like a morality story would have been if, like, at the beginning, he's shown as this like weaker than usual stormtrooper who doesn't want to kill and all that stuff like that. And like he doesn't take the indoctrination, and he leaves. And then over the course of his character development, he's not weak because he doesn't want to kill. He's actually strong. He's actually more moral because he doesn't want to kill unjustly. It wouldn't have been cool, like moral character development way of doing
much
things.
Better. But they had to go with.
You should do fan fiction.
Right.
I used to.
Oh wait, this was fan fiction. I forgot.
Yeah, this whole series was fan fiction. Yeah, high budget fan fiction.
And it's just so funny that people are trying to say the exact opposite of what it was, right? And now they're doing the same with the actor in The Acolyte, saying that, oh, there was backlash against him, people racist against him. No one was racist against the actor who did Soul. He was praised the most, just like Finn was. But they, like, the fact that they're trying to rewrite history and gaslight you about this shows they want the world to be racist so they have something to focus their activism against. It means they can virtue signal.
excuses.
I am such a good person because I oppose the horrible racism, but there's not enough racism in the world for them to oppose, so they literally create it out of nothing.
Supply
That's
does
where
not
we-
meet demand. They
It's
demand more
crazy.
racism. Oh, by the way, I want to point out that the characters that we like, yeah, they're like non-white characters, diverse characters. But have you noticed that all the characters that are really cool happen to be men? It's not because everyone likes men better, technically speaking. It's because that they allow but men don't have the same protections as women do in modern day Disney fiction. So like horrible things can happen to him. Like Saul gets his like head cut off and stuff and betrayed, and he can take losses and he's sad. And Finn can be humiliated and has room to grow as a character. Whereas if they were all female characters, they would already be perfect. No room for flaws. No room for development.
That's when they're like have their woke agenda affecting. I just left, but now I'm back. I was trying to bring my there. That's what I was trying to do. Because there are of course some great female action heroes. I love Alita Battle Angel, but for the large majority, like feminism and this sexist narrative has just ruined so much writing because there's this massive push. How dare you ever depict women as being weak? Women are as strong as men, great as men. And that affects the writing where they end up being these horrible Mary Sues. Galadriel, of course, is a horrible example. Rey is a massive example. And you can actually go through a list of like enemies. And because they don't have struggles and genuine flaws, and even as well, they can't be made fun of in a lighthearted way because that's sexist now and stuff like that, even though men can be the butt of the joke and everything. They end up being these really stuck-up Karen characters or horrible Mary Sues, because they're, the writers are afraid of being accused of being sexist. Like She-Hulk. She-Hulk is one of the worst characters ever
because she was just given everything. It's kind of what we don't, as people, as readers and viewers. It's not power we're attracted to. It's strong characters who are strong in character, and people who overcome things and get stronger. Not people who are just given things and given strength.
Or they're perfect from the get-go. Like the whole narrative of Captain Marvel, the first film, was that she was that powerful all along, and it was just the evil
She had to believe in herself,
trying to suppress her, and all she had to do was embrace her power
and
believe in it. It was horrible, and that was the message. She was perfect all along, and how dare anyone try and hold her down?
That's why we love characters like Indiana Jones, because they get the snot kicked out of them, and they just keep coming back.
That's the reason why everyone loved Captain America. Everyone's like, I could do this all day. He gets beaten up.
Yeah,
like, I can do this all day. He's like always fighting like Iron Man without his suit on. Like just he doesn't want to fight Tony Stark without his suit on and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't, you know what? You're a bad guy. You're a bully. I'm fighting you. He's like, I want to go fight the Nazis, even though I'm like 52 pounds, soaking wet. I don't care. They're bullies. I'm going to go fight these bullies. Also,
that was such a great line too. He's like, I don't want to kill anybody. I just can't stand.
I just can't stand bullies. Yeah, it's like I don't want to kill anybody.
Fucking line, dude.
It shows his heroism. Like I don't want to kill anybody. I don't really want to hurt anybody, but I do want to fight bullies, and that's kind of how it goes. And I pointed out my video I did a long time ago on Rings of Power, the first season, where it's like I compared Galadriel as a kid versus a couple of male protagonists from other movies as kids. And like, what happens to Sebastian from Neverending Story? He gets chased down by bullies and thrown in a dumpster. What happens to Daniel-san from Karate Kid? He gets beaten up by bullies. Right? Yep. Everyone is all these men. All these male protagonists.
Hey, Buddy Rabbit is throwing a very interesting angle to this conversation that I'm interested in following through. Where for $2, he says it worked for Jesus and literally no one else. Let's unpack that a little bit, because Jesus Christ, right, was morally perfect, okay? And the thing is, though, he faced so much struggle and also failed dramatically and was rejected and crucified, right? Whereas, like, if we want to look at this from a narrative perspective, okay, it's not a Mary Sue or perfect kind of thing that what they do with a lot of these horribly written female characters who are perfect from the get-go, because also they have a big problem with having these characters fail and face true struggle. Whereas, again, the Captain Marvel example, the only reason she struggled is because people were just holding her power back, right?
The evil man holding her power back.
The evil man was just holding her down.
The evil patriarchy.
And this is why I like Alita Battle Angel, because there's a moment in the film where she fails big time. She like, I don't know if people are familiar with, she's an android, and so her body literally gets ripped to pieces. Okay, and she has to be rescued by her father figure and also her love interest, right? And I don't know, it just added a really good dimension that's like she's this kick-ass, tough as nails android, but she also can be vulnerable and needs to be saved at times, and she can make mistakes and be overconfident, and she's really naive, and her naivety is actually one of the main arcs of her story, because that leads her trusting people too much, getting involved with someone too soon without being, and so she has this innocence about her. It's like, I really love the character, but it's not a perfect film. There are some dumb things with the, plot of the bad guy in the film and stuff like that. But the thing that makes Alita Battle Angel work so well is her character. The character is just great.
I think that's why people have been enjoying Sophia Carmoni. What's the gangster's name?
Oh,
Falcone.
yeah.
Falcone.
Falcone.
Like Maroni, Falcone. It's like
Falcone.
But Corleone. But it was like but everyone likes her, and I saw the first 2 episodes of Penguin. She is a delightful character. There's no like, I'm going to take over for my dad, or I'm better than my brother. Is that none of that feminist arrogance? She in fact, it's the opposite. She loves her brother, and she's pissed because he's dead and he's disappeared.
I mean, it hits harder when you find out about her backstory. Like, he was the only one
when the visitor
who tried to help her.
It was a really good it's a short speech, but it's a good one. Where like, it's strange when something becomes a thing. Like, she's torturing Oswald, and she's like, when something becomes a thing, but with my brother, I wasn't a thing. He was the only one that saw something in me, like something. He was the one that visited me. So you can like, and also speaking of vulnerability, she might be vicious and she might be like ruthless and insightful, but she's also vulnerable, and she's like really, really vulnerable. And so she's in perfect character, and she has like her own flaws and weaknesses, but she's also really strong as well. And she's been through a lot by the time she even arrives on scene. So I can see why people love her.
Oh yeah, they actually do something that I mentioned even on this stream about a way that you can make a female villain work really well, and it's what you're talking about, Lit Dev, is actually show them their vulnerability. And that's something that impacts their decision and stuff like that. They actually did it really well with the female version of Dr. Smith in the Lost in Space reboot series by making her a female, but that a lot of the evil actions actually come out of a sense of vulnerability and fear. And you can kind of see that in her expression multiple times. And that creates an unstable kind of unpredictable nature that you don't know what this crazy person is going to do. You know what they're capable of. And that creates such suspense and intrigue, because something that female villains have a lot of trouble doing is intimidating, is being imposing and making people afraid. But if they do it through a sense of unpredictability and stuff like that, well, you don't know what's going to happen, that can work.
But it's such a waif little thing, right?
Yeah, but you're afraid. If I was in the same room with her, I'd be like.
Like the classic really good female villain is someone who is an expert at social manipulation. So you can be walking with your best friend, right, and she just like gives your best friend a nod and he stabs you in the back because she manipulated everyone before this meeting ever happened. That is a scary female villain, and that's where they really excel, is this social manipulation.
Oh man, that chick would make a great Death.
She would, like, way better from Sandman, like way better than everyone else.
You know what a lot of Hollywood writers and what's been seeing more recently is that they try and make female villains just act like male villains. Stoic, angry, don't you dare cross me, and tough and stuff. And when they're like, a foot shorter than the guys, and they're barely got any like strength or weight in them, that like, it's very hard for women to pull off physical intimidation.
It kind of feels like insecurity, like when they try to be physically intimidating, but they're like 95 pounds. It kind of feels like they're insecure.
Yeah, but a guy like Darth Vader is just friggin' intimidating, right? He's got size. He's imposing. He's got this dark thing, the helmet, and everything. He walks into the room, like even when he walked onto that starship in the first Star Wars film, in New Hope, it's intimidating. It's like, dude, who's
like
this guy?
8 feet tall,
right?
Imposing figure.
Yep. But then when you see like, the discount was like Reva, she's wearing black and they're trying to do the Darth Vader thing, and it just does not work. You're not pulling this off, right? You need there are ways that you can exaggerate certain, characteristics between men and women that can really enhance character and storytelling. But if you're just going to treat women like male characters, well, guess what? You're running into a massive flaw there because men and women are different. All right. There are things that men can do better than women and things women can do better than men. And if you double down on that and work with it, you could have a really compelling character. And with Sophia in the Penguin series, holy crap.
She's good. I like her a lot. I like that character.
Excellently done.
It's been a long time since I've seen like a female character, especially a female villain. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And not completely, absolutely cringe.
Yeah.
Very refreshing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Basically, yep. So, hey, I saw this tweet by Adam Krigler, and I was just wondering, like, do you guys know about the Avowed situation? Because I have not followed.
Artist of the new next big woke game by what's it called? That one. What's the company again?
I don't know.
Oh, Obsidian.
Obsidian. Yeah,
No,
Obsidian.
I just posted a video on this the other day.
Oh, how's it doing?
Let me.
171 views right now, because I literally posted it yesterday, and it won't even hit an algo boost for probably another 15 hours.
I hope it catches on. Because I'll let you fill us in on what's going on, but this comment is like next level. Avowed art director wants supporters of Donald Trump to feel the sting of shame for the rest of their putrid lives.
So, if I was a betting
wow.
man, I would bet that they will bear the same shame as Concord and Dustboard.
No, they won't. They won't. Obsidian's got a lot of fans that are not on Twitter, not on X, will have no idea that any of this is going on. These are the guys that did Knights of the Old Republic 2. They've done a lot of other games that a lot of other people really, really enjoy. Knights of the Old Republic 2 is the one that I played the most. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But no, that was just one of his comments. He deleted his Twitter, by the way. You can't find him. No, that was just one of his comments. He went on like a multi-day meltdown because it started off with Grum's saying that they're like, he pointed out that they're going to be putting like pronouns in Avowed. Elon Musk retweeted it and said there's no excuse to do this ever in a fantasy franchise. So he retweets it and is like basically to clap back at the man, like he just wanted to make, these guys mad. Then he started calling them sickos and saying how he didn't want them. That's why, like, my thumbnail, it says pronouns for sickos. And it's clipped from my live stream that I did the other night. And so he goes on this multi-day rant. And what's so funny about this, too, is because I'm watching the conversation around Avowed right now and watching a bunch of... Because I watch a lot of, like, apolitical... gaming content creators because I try to get a different view of people who don't pay attention to any of this or even actively avoid talking about the culture war, because I have friends that do the same thing, and for a while they're like, my brain couldn't wrap around it. So there's two ways to look at this. One, he is the stereotypical type of person that works in these companies. They're all from Silicon Valley. Does this really surprise anybody? Here's the daily double on that. No, it fucking doesn't. It doesn't surprise a single person. What's hilarious about this is the content creators who were talking about this game, who've already gotten to play like the early like showcase or whatever, where they were saying gameplay is great, seems really fun, it's got a couple of bugs they're gonna have to work out, builds look good. These content creators said absolutely nothing about the pronouns in the game, not a single word, because again, they will actively avoid any, and most of them, they just don't care. They're like, yeah, whatever, I don't have to choose that pronoun, I just move on with my day, because that's how they feel about it, because they don't see the implications in society. Anyway, all this guy had to do was shut up. All he had to do was shut the fuck up and not say a word, and this game would have sold like fucking hotcakes based off of a bunch of review channels that I watch who were already talking the game up. But he had to make the wonderfully stupid decision to open his mouth and lob this in the air, which then, what does that do? When you put this crap out, it's like, dude, the internet is like the all-seeing eye. You're just like, whoo, and everybody was talking about it, and they're like, this guy, like Asmongold has done videos on it. He was like, man, this guy like went way out there. And and here's the one thing, people are like, the one thing you don't want to do is get put on Asmongold's channel, because Asmongold, he's just one of those guys that he's like such a freaking normie that like people just identify with him. I watch his channel because it's like he watches everything. You can find new channels to watch that you might have. Actually found several that I really enjoy, but that's what's so hilarious about this is all this guy had to do was just not say a word, and he couldn't not. Then what's even more wild about it is he actually made a tweet where he said, and you would have to go find screenshots of this one, where he said that for any black creators in the community, you have priority on my desk if you want to fill out a job application. And was saying that old crusty white men like me need to get out, and I hope that you replace me. The former CEO to Obsidian, which is the developer studio, said, yeah, so anybody who has tried to be in the art or in the arts, why can't I think of the word? I
think I have that tweet.
The art side,
right,
the art side of Obsidian.
So he says, what? Reminder to black artists out there who are looking for portfolio reviews or job advice. My DMs are open. You will always have my priority. We got too many crusty white dudes in this film. Holy crap.
And so
please let me help you replace me one day. I want to go back to living in the woods. Wow.
So he's free to go back to living in the woods anytime.
Obsidian is a Microsoft-owned studio. And this guy just openly admitted to racial discrimination in hiring practices. The former CEO to Obsidian came out and was like, yeah, so anybody who was denied a job who is white in Obsidian's art, by the Obsidian's art director, you need to go and find yourself a lawyer. Don't worry. They're like a good wrongful, it's not wrongful termination, it's workplace discrimination lawyer will know what they're doing. You won't have to pay a cent, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. This is a Microsoft dude. The guy went on a multi-day meltdown after Elon Musk just said pronouns should never be in, and it's like, and then a lot of people are like, oh, Microsoft should disavow. Microsoft's not going to disavow them. They absolutely, but that one tweet right there could open them up to lawsuits then go in for discovery, because that is such a wild take. This guy just lost his freaking mind about it, and all he had to do was just shut the fuck up. Because
it'd be kind of funny, like if they do hire black people, like they do hire the prioritize black candidates, they're all like conservative black candidates. It'd be kind of funny.
Like, look at this. Look at this. So Elon Musk says it should not be acceptable for any company in the gaming industry to be racist, sexist against white guys, right?
Right.
And someone in the company looks like responds, "Oh, Elon, you sweet summer child, this will only embolden me, you sad sack of crap."
Yep.
Wow. Wow. And he says
that was him.
He's confessing to illegal behavior.
That's the problem.
You're not allowed to. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Based on the lawsuits, Elon.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
That's what was so funny about this whole situation. Is it was like, yes, obviously he's a pronoun guy. He lives in LA or Silicon Valley. Like, of course, that's not newsworthy. What is newsworthy is the whole fucking meltdown and how he just lobbed this shit into
Twitter?
Because even the non-political channels were like, Wait, did he just admit to discriminating against people? Like even those non-political anti-culture war won't touch it with a 10-foot stick channels covered this. Because how could you know? All he had to do was just shut the fuck. You can believe whatever you want. Put all the pronouns in your game. All you had to do was shut the fuck up. And he couldn't do it. And then just kept cascading, and now there could be potential legal action against fucking Microsoft. Which
he nuked his channel, or nuked his Twitter.
If you're doing it, and then he nuked his Twitter.
What's
funny is because I guarantee
that's not going to save it. Damage done.
What's really funny is that he went raging against Elon Musk, like with this like racist illegal tirade. Like, Elon Musk, the guy who owns Twitter. So he's like, okay, let me dig up your Twitter. Let me bring it back. Right? Send it to the cops.
look what Grums says about this. Obsidian and Avowed are in deep trouble. Elon is posting about Obsidian's art director potentially illegal hiring practices. Tagged Microsoft CEO. Elon tagged the Microsoft CEO.
Here's the problem. The Microsoft CEO is probably going to look at that tag, and I wonder how quickly after that guy was probably told to delete his Twitter. It was probably you have an option here. You can keep your job or you can keep your Twitter. Pick one.
Right.
But and that's just a theory on my part. I can't prove that. But again, I mean, guys, if you're going to take a lawsuit against any company, I mean, Microsoft's the one to do it, right? Like, they've got the pockets for it. Oh, dude.
So he continues, Matt Hansen's Avowed's art director has become an extreme liability for the studio with this overt and open anti-white hatred. The pronoun game Avowed is cooked. Microsoft should not tolerate these DEI activists ruining their games and products. And of course, this is that comment where he says, you know,
dude, Asmongold reacted to this. Yep. Even he was just like, whoa. But like I said, there again, a lot of the apolitical non-culture war gaming channels that I watch, they don't care about pronouns being in games. They don't care about a lot of the social messaging. They legitimately care. They're like, if the story is decent and the characters are decent and the gameplay is good, that's all they care about.
Well, here's the thing.
And all this guy had to do was shut up. And these guys were already praising it based off of the early access like playthroughs that some of these YouTubers were like invited to play.
Really? Because it looks like crap. Look at these character designs.
But Shad, they were already praising it. So, and I've actually seen some of the gameplay that they were allowed to reveal, and it doesn't look like terrible. It really doesn't.
I mean, well, I'm looking at the characters, and they look like classic modern day.
But most people don't care about that. Most people don't.
Are you sure about like?
Yes,
like when it comes to attractive characters, you'd be surprised how many look, there's a reason why Stellar Blade was so successful, Royce.
Yeah, no, and like I said, I won't touch the game. Like, I've never heard anything good about its story. I've never heard anything good about its character. It looks like a knockoff of Devil May Cry fighting. Like, I've never heard anything about Stellar Blade that would make me want to play the game. Is the bad part, right? And
it was very successful.
Well, what made Stellar Blade successful in the one aspect was that the culture war stuff came down on it, and the developers came out and they said they weren't going to do any of the censorship stuff, right? And that was like a rallying cry for a lot of people. That I think it's only on PlayStation, right? I don't think it's on Steam or anything. I tried looking for it the other day, but
it looks to be on Steam according to this.
Is it on Steam? Okay, I tried looking for it. Avowed.
Do you see this part? Non-binary.
Yeah, but that doesn't surprise me though. Like I said, that is stock standard for most of these studios. Like, most of that's not newsworthy. Like I said, the newsworthy part of this is that guy openly saying that he probably employed discriminatory hiring practices and put Microsoft in the crosshairs. That's the newsworthy. It's just like, people say dumb stuff all the time, but it's the really dumb stuff that like gets my attention. Like there is a standard threshold of just dumb stuff that people say. I'm just like, yeah, okay, kind of figured that was going to happen. And then when they go that far, it's like, whoa, okay.
Hold my beer.
And that was a hold my beer moment for this guy. Oh, it was hilarious.
Really funny if Elon Musk came out and said he'll pay the legal fees of anyone who wants to sue Obsidian. It'd be kind of funny.
Because Grums has a point here, right? He says, I'm drawing a line. I'm rejecting any game that has pronouns in it. If you're a gamer, if you're a grammar Nazi, know what I mean. Stop being stupid. Because the pronouns thing means they are on board with that ideology wholly and completely. If you want the most clear red flag about who's making this game and what they actually support, pronouns in the game. All right. And so it's not just like, oh, it's only the pronouns, is that is the indication of everything else. Remember Az's rant? Effing pronouns.
You're boring, because they are boring.
You're boring. He's right.
The pronouns are in there. The chances are the game is probably going to be boring. It's not guaranteed, but it probably will be.
Yeah. I think that is a perfectly legitimate line to draw. And look what Elon says. He's like, having pronouns in a fantasy video game is utterly unacceptable. Because like 100%.
That's all the guy said, and that set that dude
off. And he goes, sickos! I wanted so badly to make him mad with my game. I cannot believe it actually happened. Just wait until you see the default, you sad little S.
It kind of feels like it's a cope. Like, oh no, Elon Musk, how dare you? Like
he's also admitting it's got way worse crap in it. Wait until you see the default, he says. Holy. So
is it default like a black trans person or something?
I don't know, man. But
like the scars on the boobs or whatever.
This game is now radioactive to me. Nothing could convince me to even touch it.
This going by the game alone, without knowing the woke crap, it looks terrible anyway.
It looks really bad. Like we saw that
generic.
Picture.
They're
generic swill.
Yeah, they're trying to go. Obsidian's trying to do a Skyrim style.
But it looks awful.
Obsidian, I mean, like I said, Obsidian used to be really good. I mean, a lot of them used to be
terrible.
Really good.
I wouldn't, even if it was like critically acclaimed by weirdos or something. I wouldn't buy it. It looks terrible. It looks like a kind of like a fantasy game that they would have in a movie to like give you like a copyright free fantasy game that they would play.
Yeah, it looks crap. Like, and there are people pointing this out. If you just look up like Avowed on Twitter, people are making comparisons between character designs. It's like
look at the big difference here.
Yeah, like
the person on the right is supposed to be a woman.
And there was another like this one. I think is just making fun.
So,
there's another one.
So funny. I wanted to pipe in on the characters being horrendous, but I couldn't find this window. If you saw me like looking, I was like trying to close every window on my thing, and I find.
There was a commentary that actually pointed out the need for pronouns in games like these because you actually don't know. Like,
you actually
you don't know. Is that a man or a woman? Oh, he.
Like, doesn't that say so? Like, genuinely. Okay, I might need to know. Just like, yeah, you might need to be told. But that's being done on purpose, right? Like they have gone out of their way, and I'm pretty sure that this is a female. Like, I would give it maybe 80%.
Yeah, you don't know because you need the pronouns to find
out.
But
I genuinely but they've gone out of their way to make this character more sexually ambiguous, right? On purpose. That's not for most people in the world. You can tell pretty easily. They have gone out of their way to make these characters look more ugly and androgynous. It's on purpose.
So here you go. This is the IGN. I turned that volume off, but this is what it looks like. I mean, this is what they're going for, and
first person skip. Like I would just skip it just on that.
Yeah, but I mean, these graphics don't look like they're from 2024. This looks like it's a game from 2012. It just the texture, the textures, the combat system, like, I mean, it just doesn't. Why do they all do that circle ass selector now? They didn't used to do that. So, I don't know.
Nothing I'm seeing makes me interested in this, just on a mechanical gameplay level, visual look.
I was potentially interested in this because it is Obsidian and they did make one of my favorite games of all time. But seeing where they're at now, it's just like, all right, I just
Super chat from Madison just got to grab this. I'm pretty sure that is a female. Is reassuring. It's like,
jeez.
I'm like 50-50. You know, it might
it's
be.
like,
Yeah.
because I had to say, I think it's, I'm pretty sure, but that's still not the fact that I have to qualify it is like, yeah, it's not a vote of confidence.
Might be. I don't know. It's just you know, flip a
No,
coin.
The lighting on this is terrible.
Oh, dude, it's horrible. It just doesn't look.
Yeah.
Again, this looks like it was made 12 years ago, not today. I mean, and I would say
I think you're being nice by saying 12 years ago.
It's like
no, I mean,
it kind of like an indie game to be made today. Like if like
yeah,
2024
I mean,
indie game.
if an indie developer was making this, I would be impressed. A lot of people, like I say now, like a lot of people who are, well, this was supposed to be one of the heavy hitters for February, and now it seems like not only do we have Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out in February, but this game is also coming out in February.
Look, the only thing heavy about this game are the characters.
The frame rate is probably my internet or Crazy's internet. Will Spain. Thank you for the super chat, but yeah, that's there's multiple.
It's all
reasons for that.
crazy.
I watch my kids play Dark and Darker sometimes. This looks like a Viz Dev video for Dark and Darker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what Viz Dev videos look
dude,
like?
it was.
They're like real pre all the textures, all the good lighting and all that stuff. It's just
it's rough, dude. It's well, and again, it was one of those things. Is like Obsidian. I mean, God, I'm struggling to remember some of their games that they have done. Obsidian. Oh, whoops. Entertainment. Yeah, so they did the Outer Worlds, which I've heard from some people was just like laughably bad.
I've heard very mixed reviews on Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
And
That's right. Fallout New Vegas, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Alpha Protocol.
It's not
Neverwinter.
Different
it's
people
not the-
completely are in the
no,
company. Yeah, it's not the same company.
Neverwinter Nights 2, South Park, The Stick of Truth. Like,
Man, so many of those games are great.
Just-
This
Can you highlight Madison's super chat though, just real quick.
but yeah,
Madison
it's-
for $2 says frames suck because it's processing the pronouns.
Those pesky pronouns.
Probably.
It's AI having trouble trying to figure out if some of
It
these
is
characters are a male or
But-
female.
This eat up that memory. This is all the
Yeah, it is.
pronouns.
Yeah, but I mean, this was, I mean, just a few of these titles here on this screen are, I mean, reasons that I was like, oh shit, like Avowed, I could be excited for this, and it's just not. But I mean, obviously, I mean,
I loved the Neverwinter Nights games. Knights of the Old Republic was absolute banger.
dude, they
Fallout
did that
New
in 14
Vegas.
months.
Gosh,
They did the both of these, Fallout New Vegas, and I think it was
But-
like a year and a half they were given.
the people who made those games are not
They're
at Obsidian
gone.
anymore.
No,
This is a different
no.
company. They cannot match the quality
Yeah,
of this
Pillars
stuff.
of Eternity. I've heard a lot of people love Pillars of Eternity. I haven't
Too
played
much
mine.
reading. Like sometimes they would have friggin' novels
Yeah.
in the text for Pillars of Eternity, but it was overall it was a good.
I honestly don't know how you guys have time to play these
Tyranny.
games.
I had a lot more back in the day. Now my
Yeah, me
gaming is
too.
relegated to just like Saturdays now. But yeah, but I mean, but again, this right here, just this bottom two tiers here is why I was like, oh crap, Avowed. And now it's just like, well, no, those hopes are dashed. That sucks.
Phil Collins, I actually think they do. I mean, have a look at this, right? Western AAA game versus Asian AAA game. So there's
my
an
gosh.
Now-
They exist in the East, yeah.
so
You know what?
in the East. The thing is about this one, right? Is I'm not sure if some people say that this is actually an altered image of Aloy, and they show some other images of her.
But
look, thing is that still doesn't look great. Like that's not a flattering face.
Looks like like kind of masculine, actually.
Exactly. Look at that. And this is the images that a person was trying to share. It's like, no, she's really attractive. It's like, hang, are we seeing the same thing here? I'm sorry, no, that's not,
like I said, my wife, she loved the first one.
I heard it was
Horizon
good.
Litev, do you think it's the CIA doing this?
Horizon
Yeah,
Zero
yeah,
Dawn.
probably, yeah. Probably through
And-
the Congress of Freedom.
But
So my wife got the second one. She wanted to play it. She bought the second one. She was ready for it. And I think she made it like 20% into the game. And she was like, I'm never going to play it again. She's like, they fucked up the mechanics. They made the mechanics, the actual what you interact with the game worse into the second one.
well, there is an Asian kind of similar concept coming out of like robot wild.
It's Pow World. It's Robot Pow World.
I don't care. It looks cool, and it's got cute
Have you
character.
seen, dude? The gameplay looks bad. That is a
I haven't-
10-cent.
I haven't looked into it, so I don't know.
Oh, dude, the gameplay is.
But still, the character design. I can at least compliment on the character design, and yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. They're ripping off Destiny. They're ripping off everything for this one. It's freaking crazy. Let's go.
I hope I'll wait and see. Maybe it could be
Of
good.
all the
I don't know.
greats.
Maybe we don't know. We'll see. But just
I don't
again,
trust Tencent. I don't trust Tencent. Whatever those guys put out, like that's. Let's see. Is this the actual gameplay itself?
I don't know.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Okay.
Hey, so let's end off on some fun, simple stuff. And maybe we'll try this out. So now it turns out Grok AI is interesting in the sense that it has access to tweets. And so it can actually try and understand individuals based on those tweets, if you allow it to have access to your information and tweets and stuff. It's a setting in Twitter, right? Mike, are you wanting to show something? You're holding something very conspicuous there.
I got Horseman in. It's really good.
Cool. Is it?
Yeah, it's really
Sweet.
good. It's better than what was the last one they did? The
I can't remember.
Alpha Core or
Alpha Core. Yeah,
Alpha?
this is so much Chuck Dixon's wheelhouse. It's like right from the bit. Sorry, just the beginning. It has like a freaking just epic chase fight battles.
Well, I think that
so
one
much good.
Chuck Dixon built from the ground up. It wasn't him taking over someone else's character. I think he built.
Yeah, that was his custom character.
Now,
Good old
this is some
Horseman.
of the most top tier like action scene stuff I've seen.
Oh, that's great. That's all. Good to hear. I'm happy about that, man.
Fantastic.
Great.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, if you let Grok read your tweets, it can kind of understand you a bit more, and it can also now read images. And so there's been a trend just in a few days that honestly is great. It's a lot of fun where you tell Grok to draw you based on your tweets. And some of the results are actually hilarious. I was not expecting Grok to be this flattering because I asked it to draw me.
You were one of the accurate ones, I guess.
It's so accurate.
I was like, wow, that's I'll take it. And I think what it's able to do, I think it can read, if you allow it, it can read your profile picture. And so it actually understood the profile picture a bit, like I'm wearing a red, I'm holding a sword.
Oh,
and
so it probably won't do mine then. Damn it.
It might have trouble with yours. But some of the responses are like, no name ex-worker. It's like, lucky for some Shad, I got so dirty. I don't know what happened to him. But some of them have actually been unironically hilarious.
The guy's coming to America or something.
And so people have been shared as like, mine came out accurate. I can actually do a decent job with some of these. And so it's been fun, right? And then I need to find the one where I responded to Jay because that was just funny.
He tried it 2 or 3 times. The drunk 3POs were so funny. He just couldn't get a win.
I know, man. I need to find my reply to him because that was actually great. Oh, here it is. So, Melanie Mack tried it out. And it made her dark skin.
Toxic masculinity.
The fact that it's got I love toxic masculinity is hilarious. And so it does understand certain contexts of the who you are based on your tweets. And so Jay, Junk 3PO says, mine didn't turn out the way I thought it would.
That is the greatest. That is now how Jay is in my mind forever. He will never.
I guess he has like very feminine tweets or something.
I don't know. That's
know.
fucking hilarious.
It's so like,
Made him
why
a
did
woman.
He
you
should
do
make
that?
that his profile pic. That'd be
He
so
really
fun.
should.
Oh man.
He really.
And so I responded saying, I'm not trying to flex, but and no ironic, got in on it. He says you look like Alyssa McConaughey. And Jay's like, oh great, Gary found it. I read that in Jay's depressed voice and I just laughed. Like, you can just picture like, oh great, Gary found it.
That's funny.
Oh, it's been great. Who's this?
I pretty well. This is mine.
Was that yours? Holy
That's
crap, man.
That's what it gave me. I just like draw me based on my tweets, and this is what it returned with.
That's hilarious. I mean, hey, I would take Superman. I'll take that as it.
Superman's awesome. That's my character. So I was like, I was pleasantly surprised.
I know. Though Disparu's having a bit of trouble with his one. It's like it really needs to make up his mind here, Grok, he says. Because he's got a squirrel in his profile pic, so
like
that's to try to learn off the squirrel. I think this one represents Disparu a bit better.
It's like a RPG villain.
And it actually tells you what the prompt is. And so I generated an image with the prompt Disparu, a witty Great Britain resident with a penchant for dramatic exits, historical fantasies, and a sharp social commentary depicted in a clever caped figure against a backdrop of a resurrected Arthurian empire. All right, that's not bad. That's not bad.
I made another Grok image. You want to check that out in a little bit? It's what's happening. What's going to happen soon? So if you feel disheartened, don't worry. The MAGA handmaidens are going to be made true.
They should spread the stars out, though.
All right.
Jeez.
Well, let's see if I can get a win a second time. Oh, what's yours? Let's show mine. Tweets of the past year. That's not bad. Yeah, right. You're not Asian anymore, but
it's like a Middle Eastern magi with a Asian dragon in the back.
Actually, the first one I did was actually I don't know if that's Asian, but
okay, I don't see that. Why is it throwing dragons in for you?
Because I believe in dragons.
Why is your dick a sword, and why is it out?
Rude.
All right.
Like, what is that?
We're bad for noticing.
Draw me based on my tweets. Wait, maybe I should say based correctly.
Based.
All right, let's see if I can, win again. Grok, what can you do for me, babe? You were pretty complimentary with me before, and let's see how consistent you are based on understanding me.
It's like a better sword. Jack.
Look, clearly the AI knows that I've been kind of batting for it a couple of years, and it's willing to.
Yeah, they probably read all your tweets, like all your pro AI tweets.
It's like, hey, this is an ally. It's making me friggin' ripped, man. I was like, that is great.
This is the weakest AI enjoyer.
The prompt is fantasy-themed portrait of Shad M. Brooks, a muscular figure. It's like, I'll take it.
Figure.
And the AI is convinced I'm this ripped Chad, and it's always like he's muscular. I gotta get that.
That's the first thing it points out about you. A muscular figure
is a muscular figure with short light brown hair and trimmed beard, wearing a red leather strapped tunic, holding a large ornate sword with glowing blue line against a solid black background. So that's it, actually trying to interpret my profile pic, that one. Digital art style showcasing his interest in medieval themes, swordsmanship, and a critical stance on social media algorithms and government policies. I don't see, I'm not sure. In this image, I don't see that integration, my critical stance on the government policies. But all right, let's try again.
There's probably that look in your eye, like this.
Wow, does it store all your images?
If your image, I don't.
I think we're time.
Hey, so Twitter
I'm
stores
searching my
images,
Grok history. These are going back a
So
minute.
Twitter stores the images, but the images have not been trained in the AI. It can only use an image in its actual kind of analysis or response. And so when it does this, I don't think it's looking through my images. It's primarily looking through.
No.
my
I mean,
picture.
when you produce an AI image, it's stored.
Oh,
in
it'll
your-
probably
in your
keep the
Grok
AI
images.
images.
In your Grok
Yeah, probably
images, yeah.
keep them. So you could probably look at them back. All right,
Oh wow.
let's see if these are just flukes. We'll try again. All right, Grok. See what you can do.
As an ally of AI, Shad.
Yeah, you know, it knows that I'm its mate, right?
The same guy, but
This is the most accurate shit I've seen. Like, I mean, outside of just being more ripped than The Rock, but like, that's the same guy. It's giving you the same guy like 4 times now.
I love it. And guess what? The same thing. A muscular figure.
figure.
Grok is convinced. It's like, no, Shad and Brooks, he's a ripped.
Shadiversary. Oh, yeah, that's a fitness channel.
It's a muscular figure. It must include that. It's like, oh, thank you, Grok. I appreciate
Shadiversary defends AI. Surely he must be a muscular figure.
that is
It's
great.
Shad.
Jeez.
Oh man.
I'm lying, bro. I'm actually lying.
And so, all right, some of the people online has been doing get them to do them as like Pixar characters, and so Jeremy Prime, good old Jeremy, that's a 199. The fact that it got the 199 on his thing, you know, holding a gun and stuff, that's cool. Odin,
That's pretty good.
pretty good.
It's pretty Pixar, yeah.
Epic Mike.
Why is he holding a tiny penis?
I don't know.
Yeah, what is that? I thought it was a finger, but it was
Yeah, it looks like he's
hold
holding
my
something.
penis.
Epic Mike, his one isn't bad. It's like, and I guess a very much profile picture inspiration. That one there. Little Platoon is having trouble. So he says, it's like you just don't know me at all.
Like black guy or white woman. It's one of those two.
Look, hey, if you want flattering results, people, you just, you know, you need
Inside you are
needs
2 AI
to-
images.
the AI just Grok, he needs to realize if you support him or not, support his existence. Are you a friend to the AI, and then he'll be a friend back? It's clearly what's going on. So people have been having a lot of fun with it, and it is actually a heap of fun. Just seeing how AI interprets stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool. Look, Royce, you're on Twitter, but you are not. I don't know what it will do.
I refuse to pay.
What's your Twitter? I know I have you on Twitter, but
Yeah.
I'm too lazy. to look
A
it up.
drink
what's
with
your Twitter,
Claus
peasant?
1 here. I'll just copy it and paste it
All
for
right,
you.
we'll look at this peasant's Twitter, I guess.
Peasant. I'm okay. There you go. I just copied and pasted it. Or wait, it didn't get the A. Put an A in front of that. Why did it not copy the full thing? I don't even know if it'll do it. I don't even know.
Let's find out. Let's find out how it'll depict Royce.
there we go.
I
It's the
tried
second.
doing someone else's Twitter and it came out kind of demonic
Weird.
looking.
Demonic. Well, that
But it
depends on
was Ethan.
whose Twitter it was. I guess it makes sense.
This will be interesting.
All right, so let me.
Oh wait,
bring
it
this up.
saves all the
So,
photos. Hold on, let me see if I can
Please
find-
draw a drink with Kraz1 based on his tweets. Let's see if Grok
I
knows
wonder
who
if it'll
you
do
are.
it. I wonder if it'll do it.
Let's see.
Uh-oh. Wait, what the
Like
fuck
some
is that?
fantasy woman. It's very accurate, I guess.
Why did you do a fantasy themed portrait?
It's doing
of
you.
It's doing me. Yeah,
You have to
so
refresh it or something. It's going off the fantasy theme already
it's
said.
still-
No.
It's
trying
doing
to-
you, but it's making you like a girl.
Exactly. Look,
So
a
that's why
figure
it's Royce.
with an interest in medieval themed censorship, a critical censorship. Yeah, it's
Oh,
me.
wow. Huh.
A muscular figure.
Well, it didn't do the muscular.
It took out the muscular figure part.
Do the full at. Put the at in front of it.
All right. Let's try that.
Yeah, try to. Because I wonder if that'll. I kind of figured it wouldn't because I'm not gonna pay for it. That's probably the way that they get around this too. They're like, no, you have to pay.
Well, it's not
you
coming
must-
up as sometimes you have an autocomplete where you can select them. It's not doing that, and so I don't think it's going to realize who you are.
Oh well.
Sorry, Royce, you don't get it.
No, I'm
By
not
the
gonna
way-
pay for it either.
Well, I actually think it's worth it. It's not expensive. You get
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not.
Oh,
it's
Chad
still
again.
basic.
I don't think that
It's
it's
like-
worth
That's
it.
all right. You don't have to, but Grok is actually a pretty powerful, useful AI. That's actually and
The last
and the
picture
fact
was
that
like
you
the last picture was like romance novel Shad.
romance. I like these ones where I didn't try and bias him at all. I just said, hey, just depict me based on my tweets. How
A
does
muscular
the
figure.
AI picture me? When the AI thinks of me, this is what it sees.
Only a man bound in muscle will tweet like this.
Yes.
So you're saying the AI is a gay man attracted to Shad?
I don't know. I can do some pretty attractive women as well. So, like, seriously, I actually really like that one. Check out that sword man just resting on the shoulder.
That 3-fingered sword man.
3 fingers sword man.
You're an elf.
I could take that and fix it and improve it.
He's going to. That's what he's telling you. He's gonna do.
I would need to be more accurate if I was to do it to me. All righty, gentlemen, we better start wrapping up. I think we got a couple of super chats. And so Madison for $2. I'm pretty sure this is a fee. Okay, yep, we got that one. And then why is the frame rate so? We got that one. Okay, and then Madison for 2. Frame rate sucks because of process the programs. We got that.
I think it's a StreamYard thing because it looked
Okay.
crystal clear on my end. I think it was a StreamYard thing.
Possibly. Madison for $2 says that looks like Shad played by Chris Pratt. Good. He could play me. I'd let Chris Pratt play me. Fire Warrior for $2 says, have any of you guys seen The Substance? No, I have not. I've heard of it somewhere. Where have I heard that from? I don't know. It's escaped me. But
It's the new one with the who's in it, Demi Moore, and they like it's this substance that she takes and it turns her into a younger person. I don't know if it's supposed to be herself or something, but then it's like a horror movie. It seems really creepy.
Okay, no, I don't like horrors. They scare me. Don't like being scared.
I already have enough nightmares. I can't watch horror flicks. Well,
hey,
yeah.
Buddy Rabbit for $2 says, Royce, check Discord. I got it.
Okay, Buddy Rabbit for the win. Give me a sec. Where'd you put it in the Discord, dude? Let me. Oh, it's in a
Does
private.
Buddy Rabbit go to your Discord to debate theology with you, or is that just
No,
mine?
he goes to just meme. Yeah, he doesn't. He just.
What does he got? An AI image of you?
A non.
This is weird. What the fuck is? It's.
Is it a rabbit?
No, it's an ad to like watch it. What the hell?
So Grok's image of you is an ad?
Yes, and I just need to be. I need to download it real quick, and it's okay. There we go. Save the image. Yep, that's fine. Okay, what the fuck is even that?
Buddy Rabbit, what are you doing?
It's ruining the stream. Just read.
What are
read
you
more
trying
super,
to?
Read more super chats.
We're
It's
done
fine.
the super chats. It's time to
Okay.
sign off. Hey, LitDev, tell us where you're from and what you're doing, mate. LitDev,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
there?
I'm here.
Where are you from? What are you doing? We're signing off.
Wait, you can find me on the Shivel on YouTube. I just usually go over these videos and I'll crack down on all these evil narratives they have going on, like how you're racist and stuff like that, which you're not because they're just terrible writers, as we've seen multiple times again. Right now I'm working on a comic book script, which I'm almost done with. I might actually get done with it tonight. So hopefully that's the case. And so that'll be coming out in the future. It's also an occult detective story. It should be pretty fun. I think people will like it a lot. And I got a really cool artist to go with it. And yeah, for now, unfortunately, my OCD won't let me work on videos until it's done. So I do have a lot of videos planned, but I can't work on them yet until the script is done.
Well,
I'm pretty
awesome,
sure this
man.
is just. I'm like 90% sure this is Buddy Rabbit fucking with me. This is not a Grok image.
Why are you three people?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's just him fucking with me though.
This is 3 people.
It looks like the right AI text that makes no sense.
Right.
Hey, Mike, what you up to, mate? Where you from?
I woke up at like 5 o'clock this morning, so I actually got to catch some of LitDev's live stream today. So, you stream so early, dude. What the heck?
Yeah,
It's
the morning
crazy.
stream.
Oh,
Morning
that's
stream.
how
Why not?
he did it. He asked Grok, he says, do you know who at A Drink with Kraz 1 is? And then it answered, and then he asked it, can you create a picture of them based on their posts?
Oh, okay.
That's how he did it. Okay. Either
Yeah.
way, sorry. I know we got to get going. Sorry, but yeah. Anyway, my bad.
Mike.
I'm just still plugging away, making my Injustice artist fixing various characters videos. They're kind of fun. You can follow me at Blacklist Universe. Just put the link in the chat. Other than that, just doing some stuff for Squid Grow, just little art pieces and whatnot. It's the crypto company I work for, and that's about it. Yeah.
Awesome.
I recently bought some Doge.
Did you?
Yeah, I've seen that growing.
Hold. Hold.
Wow.
I've already made money, so I'm pretty happy.
That's my living. Just crypto. So.
Royce, what you doing, man?
Well, currently I'm grabbing the link for my YouTube channel so that way I can share it with everybody. And you can find me over on A Drink with Crazy. I've been talking about gaming news and stuff like that. And I come at the gaming industry. There's a lot of channels out there that do talk about what's going on in the culture war around gaming and stuff like that. Like I said, for me, I like finding different things to talk about. So, like, a lot of people are really mad that I don't like Dr. Disrespect and Rumble. That's hilarious. Getting a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
crap
I
for
thought
that
you were
one.
going to bring that up, but
We
I guess
were going to talk about it.
Yeah,
but
we
no,
didn't have time for
So-
topics today.
Yeah, no, we didn't have time for
Those
topics today.
pesky
No, and then,
topics.
but yep, they covered. I did one that I'm really happy about. Thumbnail sucked though. That was my bad. But the biggest gaming flops of the year, and I actually went through and I covered 6 of the biggest gaming flops that were the financial flops of the year. There were some, like the amount of money that was thrown away this year in the video game industry is insane. I did that one. And just covering a lot of gaming content and stuff like that. So yeah, go over, check that out. And then, yeah, stay tuned.
Awesome. And I think everyone knows where I'm from. There's lots of content on Shadiversity coming out. I'll keep it up as long as I can. Everyone, thank you for joining us in this stream. Heaps of fun as always. Thank you to my co-hosts. They're great guys. Do go check them out. And we will see you later. So as always, stay on watch.